welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. And welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome. Hey farm fam, welcome back to my channel, for those of you that are new, welcome, and welcome to the last barn update vlog of this series. So this fence is one of the first preparations that we are doing for the barn. So this is a brand new fence. We have the top board and the bottom board on. So I'm super excited about this, and I'll kind of show you guys why this is a big prep. And here we have a little follower who's probably gonna come out of this gate. Bama, stay in there. Bama, you know, we are taking down this fence because we have been in the process of putting this fence up. So Mike is on the tractor, and he's going to just pull up. And all of the posts. And as you guys can see, where all this dirt is where the barn is gonna go. And seeing it laid out like this barn is going to be massive. I'm helping line out the yard for the barn. Farm dog. Yay! This was the third step in getting the barn. The tree is down, easy peasy. Good job, Bama! It's 6:50 in the morning, and we are out right now deconstructing the stalls. So this is pretty crazy because it's just like, it's so bad. Look at the yard, oh no. Okay guys, so the first bobcat is here, so it's time to get started. I can't believe this is actually happening. We've waited for so long. So right now what's happening is the first load of dirt that's getting dumped. I'm so excited, and we're gonna need like 10 more of these. This is what got done today. Voila! Okay guys, can we envision it a little bit more? Like, this is a barn. Like, this is the foundation. I know it's hard to explain like what we were doing with the foundation and why it needed to be built up and everything like that. So we actually live in a flood zone. So our property has the chance to flood. So our house is raised up 2 foot, and then to my county, this had to also be raised up 2 foot. So as you can see, like, look at it off the ground, and that's the height, and it is perfectly level. So this is in essence how big the barn is going to be, so it kind of gives you more understanding now, because I know I was a little bit confusing in my last video of the actual like size and setup, but it's just kind of hard to explain. But you guys will see like super shortly, because obviously this is one of the last pieces to this puzzle. So I don't know if you guys can tell, kind of like with me standing here, how tall it is. So that makes sense. Okay, now we're gonna jump up here. Whoops. And I'm in essence in the barn right now. So I'm gonna stand like right here, because this is like in the middle. And this is how big the barn is. I'm standing in the middle of the barn. I'm so excited. one step closer, and I think this is like the final step to getting the barn. That's like the necessary step. So this is what got done today, and we did not do this. We actually had to hire a contractor to do this. It had to be to like our county specs, so we couldn't mess around. So we had the rain really start coming down like you guys saw, and now we are tarping it with this gigantic tarp. So some of it's gotten a little bit ruined up there, which I'm a little bit bummed about, but they're gonna fix it. So flying tarp. The foundation is already falling. So sad. All right, so it is all tarped. Putting the last and final tarp on it now. It's like 6:30 and I was just woken up because someone was pulling down our driveway, and it's the barn company. And we did not know that they were gonna be here this early. We were told like maybe before lunchtime, but hey, the earlier the better. I'm here for it. So I had to run out and put the cows in the back pasture, and we're gonna go outside now. Morning. Look at these beautiful faces. So there's all the material. It's exciting. And Mike just took all the tarps off, and look at our foundation. So beautiful. There are the doors. So we have our 2 roll down doors, and they are just taking all the metal off. All right, so they are starting. They're measuring a lot to make sure that the foundation is good. They have their first like structural pieces on the floor, so I was super excited. Like we were actually getting the barn. So this was a really exciting time, just making sure that the foundation worked. But then what happened was the foundation wasn't actually big enough. So there's Mike in the background with the tractor digging a hole in our backyard that I talked about in my last video. And that's why, because we had to fill it with dirt so that the foundation would be big enough for the barn. Okay, so Mike's still filling, and they're starting to get most of the structural bottom foundation done. And this was a very exciting time because I saw it all happening. So what they're doing is they're anchoring it into the ground. So this is how they're keeping it on the ground. And then our first piece ever. And this piece stayed like this before any more actually happened. So I was kind of bummed about that. Look at it, you guys, it's going up. So cool. So now the structure is really coming together. This is the middle, like the alleyway of the barn. So there's gonna be 2 lean-tos on this. You'll see more so when more of the barn is getting finished. This is still the first day. They're getting most of all the structure done on the first day, and they just did some of the siding, but they didn't really do much more of the siding on the first day. And now the roof is going on. So exciting. They are starting to put up those lean-tos, so this is what I mean by the middle alleyway structure, and then now the lean-tos, so these will come off the barn to make it look like a horse barn. This was a really exciting point for me because I was like, okay, it's really happening. This is what the structure of the barn is gonna look like, so I was super excited. So we just took out the fence in front of the barn, and now Mike is moving it away. It's a huge fence full of barbed wire and ripping my tarp, yay. But we won't need the tarp for much longer. Okay, there it goes. Goodbye, tarp. Goodbye, fence. All right, you guys, so this is our barn. It's completely empty, and make sure you guys subscribe and put your notifications on because there's gonna be so many more videos of building the stalls and setting up our dream horse barn, so make sure you guys do that. Drywall, please. Our barn has officially passed inspection, so what that means is that our permit is done, and now we are able to actually start building inside of the barn. Yes, try to get through. So while Mike is working on the inside of the barn, I don't want to show you guys just yet, just because I kind of want to show you guys when it's more so done, but I do want to show you guys the foundation, and it's very humid out. As you guys can see, my camera's starting to fog up. So if you guys can see this whole foundation, like we had 4 loads of dirt here, and we had to disperse them all around the foundation to let it like even out to the normal grass around it, and boom, we have concrete. You guys, you know that this was like a huge waiting game for this concrete, but this was a big step because a lot of things were put on hold until we had the concrete. But oh my gosh, I am in love. Let me back up here so that I can try to show you it as a whole. Hold on, this barn is so big, it's hard to get everything in shot. There we go. We're gonna go in the barn because there's a lot more concrete and it's really starting to look like a barn right now. There's no electric in the barn, so that's one of the big things that we have to do. So it's gonna be a little bit dark in here, but we also need to make windows and it'll be brighter in here. But anyways, here is the alleyway, the dream alleyway barn. So we have a full concreted alleyway all the way out into the back. Right here, this little lip, it's just like a foot past the barn, as you can see. And then all the way into here. And then we have the tack room, but there's something really weird. So we were not home when the concrete company did this. And they have this little step thing. So if we open up the tack room, we're not gonna show you that just yet. But as you can see, the door would technically drag, I guess, on top of the concrete. So they went ahead and just created this little, you know, nook or whatever, which I get the concept, but this is super unsafe in my opinion. But then you guys, this is the tack room. It's completely concrete. All right, so it's getting dark, y'all, but we're gonna go ahead and Mike is gonna remove the door. Here we go. The door's gonna fall on you. Cool. All right, you guys, so it's concrete mixing time. So we're gonna pretend like we know what we're doing.
For the record, we've never done this thing before.
We do use this concrete a lot though when we make our fences, so we do know that concept. We've just never put it on a pad or anything like that, so should be fine, right? So the concrete is in. Now we have our water. Beautiful. And now we mix. Yep, alright you guys, we're gonna finish mixing this and we will be back and we are ready for it. Got the mixture and it's concrete pouring time. We have no idea what we're doing and it's like really late out right now, so barn things, you know. We're definitely gonna need a lot more concrete than this. So that's like 3/4 of a bag, you think?
Something like that, yeah.
Of concrete. And now we trowel. This is gonna take a while. But there's the concept. Beautiful. Alright you guys, so it's the next day. Let's check out our concrete. So it's definitely like a little bit different color, but we're not done. This is more gray. So this is like more of like a sand mixed concrete and this is more like a rocky mixed concrete, but as you can see, it's still like unlevel right there because we left some to put the sand mixed concrete on, so it should look a little bit better, but it doesn't matter anyways. We're gonna put mats all down this whole thing anyways. But look at how cute this is. I don't even want to cover it all the way because the cats obviously walked into the tack room last night and this is just like amazing. I have to leave the little kitty prints. It's so cute. Like that's a full-on little cat print right there. It's so cute and it's like so us. So this is the package that I've been waiting for. We ordered this so long ago and it's so crazy. It just came in today and the concrete got done yesterday. So it's like perfect timing. So this is, like I said, like the framing of our stalls and you'll see what I'm talking about soon. All right, the box is opening. Guys, it's like probably not even that exciting once I'm hyping this up like this. Here we go. So we're all seeing this together at the same time. So this is how silly and what I was so happy for. All right, you guys, we're getting like half of the wood that we need. So I don't know if it's like only me, but I'm like a kid in a candy store in Home Depot because I love home projects. I love building things, but now you guys should know that, and especially since the whole like barn renovation's happening, I am so excited going in there knowing that we're getting stuff for the barn, and I'm super excited. It was so fun to just be like, we need this many boards, but they didn't have as many boards as we needed. So it was really fun though, kind of like clearing them out because it means that the stalls are happening. I'm so excited. So this has been like my drawing right now of kind of how everything's getting built. So Mike is just strapping all the wood in, and then we will be good to be on our way. But like, look at it, look at it, stacks of wood. So Mike is just backing up with the wood. All the animals are very excited right now.
So we're just bringing in all the wood. It was so heavy, so we had to do it together, and there was so much wood, and we didn't even get all that we needed. We ended up getting the rest that we needed the next day.
So this is all the wood we have for right now. Okay, so I'm just setting the camera up here because now it's time to start with the backboards of the stall.
So we're just screwing in all the boards to the back, as you guys can see. This was like pretty easy once we got the first one in. We just kept plugging and playing. So not a big deal, and here's me like contemplating everything the whole time. And then you'll see me sit on this a lot just to get the bows out of the wood, so that's why I'm sitting on them.
All right, you guys, it's so surreal. It's actually looking like stalls slightly with just the back wall. So they should just go up about 3 more boards on each side, and then this is gonna make 2 stalls, and then we'll make the other 2 stalls over here. So we're only gonna do the 4 stalls for right now just to get all the stalls up. We ended up taking it all off. So as you can see right behind there, we have the one side, but we are in the process of taking it all off. It just got really dark out last night. So the U-channels that I had bought, we had put this one on, no big deal, but then we forgot about this one because originally we were gonna be like, okay, we'll just put these on the backs and then we'll put the channel on top of it, but then it didn't really look right, so I didn't love it. So we took it off, and now we put this channel here, so it just looks a lot better and more uniform. So now we have just put on 1 board again last night, so now we need to re-put on all the boards and try this again today. We kind of lost yesterday a little bit because obviously we're redoing everything, but it'll look better this way, and we want to make it close to perfect as possible, so starting again.
So while Mike is busy re-screwing all the boards back into the back wall, I just went ahead and started cutting the sideboards.
So the backboards are now on, and you guys saw that I was cutting the sidewall, which is gonna go right here. So now we're gonna install those, and it's gonna start to take shape of a stall. If you guys are so excited for this part, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up right now if you guys are excited, because it's about to look like a stall.
And it's time to do the sides. So we just screwed the first one in, and then basically you just slip them into the channels. That's why I really like these channels. So we just went up and slipped them in, and it was super cool.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you have the first wall. Oh my gosh. So we're about to finish technically this stall because we're gonna do this side, and then we'll be able to basically see how big the stall is gonna be. Now it's time with all of our cut boards to put them up.
So same thing with the first side. We are just slipping these boards into the channels. I love these channels for this reason, but some of them we kind of cut kind of short. So we're just making trims and then coming back and putting them back in.
Look, this is what the stall is looking like. Obviously so much more to do, but it's like a framing of a stall. It's just so exciting. And then that one's halfway done. It looks so good. I'm so excited. So now this is what we've done on this side. So same exact thing. And we still just don't have that back one or the back one over here. We did add this little cubby area. So originally I wanted the stalls to be like directly across from each other, which they were going to be, but now they're technically not, but you don't even really notice it. I have loved all the advice you guys have given. This stall is going to be the wash rack. So we are gonna do an indoor wash rack, and we may actually still do an outdoor wash rack, so that's still an option. Working on the barn. Hi, baby kitties. Oh, you're so cute. What are you doing? You stretching out? We've got all the boards cut for the front faces, and now we're just gonna go ahead and screw the faces on. So we're just getting them set up. So that's what it's gonna pretty much look like. We're gonna go 6 boards up. The sidewalls are 7 boards, so it's gonna be right below it. So this is the first front face, and Mike is just bolting it in. Super exciting.
This is, again, just like kind of trial and error for us because this is our first one that we were doing, but I really like how it came out. Alright, you guys, so it's up. It's finally up. This is what the fronts are gonna pretty much look like. This gives you guys, like, it kind of envisions how it's gonna look. This is so cool looking. Oh my gosh, it's really starting to look like a stall. Look how cute this is. I'm in the stall and this is what the horses are gonna see. So cute. And we did on purpose make the concrete come out this far. So this is on purpose. Got this and it's PVC. So basically we're gonna pretend this is like metal and this is what we're gonna use for the bars. I'm actually gonna spray paint it a gloss black. So that's what we need to do. So we're gonna go ahead and start this and we're just gonna go ahead and spray paint. I'm not a master at spray painting, but Mike's really good and he'll probably come over here and give me a lesson on how to spray paint. But this is just what I'm gonna be doing over here. This is my job for right now while Mike goes and starts to cut the rest of the wood for the fronts of the stalls. So as you can see, we're just multitasking. I'm back there spray painting still while Mike's cutting all the boards for the front face. So we're getting it done so that we can screw it in. All right, you guys, so this is 4. They're nice and shiny. I hate spray painting. So this is what they're looking like. I think they're gonna turn out really nice. I have to flip them over and do the other sides, but it's a start. So we just cut the faces of this side and now we have to remeasure and we're putting the faces of the other side now. So we're gonna cut all the boards first and then we're gonna screw them in. So we have all the supplies ready. So 97 and there we go. All right, so I'm gonna keep doing this and Mike will keep cutting. So this is all the wood that we got today. So we've already put some up here, and we as in Mike. So have added to our pile here. These are the 2x8x12s, and then these are all the 2x12s by 12s. And I really like how big these pieces are. So I'm excited for this. I think this is gonna look really good. So we're just unloading all this, and then we'll be able to get back to work. But so far, we've cut all of these for this front face, and then we've cut all of these for this front face. So this is gonna start to look like a stall today as well. So all we have to do is line the back of it, and this is gonna be a whole project because we have to like take this off too, so that's gonna kind of not be the funnest. But again, we were not planning to do this right away, but then I got really inspired by all your comments and stuff. Since we're making the wash rack, I figured we should just complete this stall. You were still totally in it. I'm leaving that in. So I got super motivated to do this. So like I said, we have all the wood, so we're gonna knock this out today too. So we'll have 3 stalls, but all of these are gonna go on now. So you guys are gonna see us screw them all in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and we're time-lapsing this and it looks so cool. We're just getting all of these boards bolted up. First, we're just starting on this one side. All right, you guys, so one whole side is completely done. So this is what 3 stalls are gonna technically look like. We still have to frame this stall out, but this is how it's looking. Now we're doing the next side. We were getting so tired. We even like took a little break in here and talked to the cats, but it's really starting to look like horse stalls. Same concept as we did over here. You guys know exactly what we're doing. We're just doing it here. So just like this, it'll be done. So we're just putting the boards into the channels and we just screw the bottom board in and then we screw the top board in too, but these channels are so easy to just slide the wood into. So that's what we're doing, just remaking that side that we took off to add the new stall. All right, so as you saw, we just put up the middle side again. So now you have 3 stalls on this side. And now it's time to work on the arch for the 2x12 that we have that's gonna go up there. So I've been trying to draw it all day, well not all day, but just earlier in the morning to figure out where I want it. So I don't know if you guys can see my pencil lines right here. And I've been using a radius, but it's a huge circle. So it's not this line, it's this line back here. So now I just need to perfect it and we're gonna cut it out. So Mike's just cutting this piece of wood. It took honestly forever, but doing the rest actually went pretty quickly.
We have officially one arch done, and this was brutal, and we literally have to make like 10 to 12 of these. But it's gonna look so good, and guys, this is simply just for the aesthetic of the barn. It's not a necessity for it to look like this, but we've put so much effort into it, and like I said, this is like my dream barn right now, so I want it to look as good as possible. And this is the arch though, I love it. Now it's a little rough, so I need to sand it, so that's what's next. We're trenching with the tool, and we hit our water line. So I just had to turn off all the breakers, but there's our water to the house. And then we just found this other pipe, so we're trying to figure that one out. So this is where we're at though. Super easy and super quick, but now we have to fix this. The electric where it's gonna basically hook up through from the house, and then it's going all the way under, through our trench, all the way through. So it comes up right here, right next to the barn. And basically, this is where we will have to hand dig, and then the electric will go up, and basically the breaker is going to be in our tack. I wouldn't even tell that it's like 9 o'clock right now because Mike went and found us a light from our horse trailer with like all of our stuff from Still Moving. So now we have a light, and we're gonna have some good lighting to finish this up tonight. I'm so excited. Wow, Mike, I'm so happy you found this light. And you know who else is happy, Mike?
The cat?
No, the farm fan, because they get to see more.
I thought there was a cat behind you.
No, there is a cat. I saw him, but I don't know where he went. So we are going to go ahead and first screw this one up and start with that and see how far we get. So again, super unsafe what I'm doing. I know that this is just kind of like what we're working with. A lot of the things that we do probably are not the safest when it comes to building stuff, but these walls of the stall are super strong, so I wasn't worried like about them falling down or anything like that. Anyways, I'm just holding this side of it up so Mike screws it in over there on the other side. All right, you guys, so change of plans. We really like this. It's a huge opening, but originally we were only gonna go to 7 foot on these, so it was gonna come down anyways, like to here. Then we decided we were gonna go all the way up to 8 foot, but now we don't really love how skinny it gets up there, so we're gonna just pop it down and put a 2x8 on top of it and see how that looks. And I think it might look a little bit more like uniform. This just looks like a tiny little skinny piece of wood. So we're gonna try that now. Even though we just did that, we're gonna take it down because this is what it's like building a barn with us. Now we have the 2x8, and now we're gonna go ahead and put it up. Wow, I like that so much better.
Yeah, that window's better size.
Yeah, I agree. The window's still really big. And then this is what the bar will look like.
Yeah, much better.
Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and do the second one now. So we're just doing the same exact thing that you guys saw on the first stall. We've kind of figured out a better process where Mike gets up, and then of course he forgot his screws, so then he had to come back up again. This one had a little bit of a bow in it, but it was fine. So we have 2 done. I love the way it looks. It's really starting to come together and look really fancy. We are finally putting the first arch over on this side of the stalls, and we sit here and contemplate for a while which side looks better. This is basically what we do for each board that we put up. So we had to get more wood. The wood never ends, I swear. So we're loading it onto the tractor right now, and we have to bring it over to the barn, but we literally tried to get 30 2x8x12s, and they only had 15, so we're gonna need to get even more wood. But then we got 4 2x8s x14s, and you'll see in a minute what we're doing with those. And then we also got 4 2x12x14s, and then you'll see kind of why we needed a bigger board than the 2x12x12s that we already have. All right, y'all, so we have 2 of the arches on this side, and then we just have to do this one, but we're having a major bolt crisis because we are out of them. So now that we have all of our screws, we are finally ready to crank away and get these arches finished. This is the second to the last one, and boy, did these boards just get heavier and heavier as we were going. But we had our friend helping us, which was really good because it provided another set of hands while we were getting these arches up. This one was a little bit of a pain, but now we're on the last and final one. And this one we didn't have the metal channels to screw in, so we were actually just screwing right into the side of the metal structure. So it was super strong, but we just had to measure it out, and I'm on the other side holding the board for Mike.
You can't see me there, but he and I go and switch, and then he starts to screw it back in. And now the last and final arch is going up, so this is super exciting. And it's just getting screwed right into those metal beams.
And just like that, we have all of the arches on the sides done. So it's really coming together. And now we just have to make the design for the front and see how we want to do these bars on the sides. So now it's time to do that. We're really getting there, you guys.
So now this was like my favorite part of the night, was finally getting up these front faces. So basically doing the same exact thing as we did on the sides. We're just putting those 2x8s on top, and these were really starting to make the stalls look like actual horse stalls because it was boxing them in. So it looked so good. We just went all along, and basically this was like my jungle gym. I just climbed all over the thing and put those boards up. It was pretty hard because it was so tall up there. So we were grateful that we had another person with us, but we're doing just the last and final one, and it's super exciting.
As you remember, we had to take it off so that we could fill in the concrete that was right there. But now it's time to cut it.
So now Mike is continuing to make that line. We wanted to make sure that it was super even because it is the bottom of the door and we didn't want it to drag. So he's just tracing out his line with his straight edge. And now he's using this circular saw just to cut it. He was going to use the grinder, but the circular saw makes a better and cleaner cut. So that's what he did. He had to put eye protection on because it's starting to get into his eyes.
So the door is getting put back on. We put this metal piece at the bottom, almost like a sweep, but not at the same time. It just kind of finishes off the door. It looks really good, so they're just screwing it back on. So I'm excited. We're about to have a door, and hopefully this works. We have put all the top boards up, the 2x8s. And now obviously you guys can see that we still need to put the arches up. All right, you guys, one arch down, and this saw does way better. So it looks really great. Just a little bit right here that I'm gonna have to sand. I'm gonna sand it all anyways, make it nice and smooth. This is the only part that we will perfect, because the first one we have to super perfect because then we trace them. But then we'll be moving and grooving with arches. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So again, I am just sanding my little hard way. And Mike is getting the next board ready to be cut. But I'm just trying to make this arch perfect so that we can trace it.
So now we're done sanding, you guys. So I need to be quick again because Mike is just holding this by himself. But I am freaking in love. It looks so good.
The first board is finally going up, and this was a big challenge. It's a very big board, and to see if it was in the middle of the two bars was really hard. So, but we figured it out and it worked.
Oh my gosh, you guys, look at it. We have our first arch and it looks so good. So obviously we went with the arch above the door, and just look at it. It looks so stinking cute. I love it. Basically we have them almost all cut out, and I am just so out of breath and ready for this part to be done, but it's gonna be worth it and it's gonna look really good.
So now it is starting. We're getting that second board up, and we actually found our clamps, as you guys can see. Thank goodness, because as you guys saw, the first board that we tried to put up was extremely hard. So with the clamps, I'm actually able to sit back and look to see if the arch is exactly where it needs to be. So we figured this out. The clamps worked great, and we just kept plugging away. And occasionally I had to go up and hold them a little bit, and then we would trim and come back, and it would fit perfect. So I was super happy with the arches. And I casually started to sand the fronts just to get all of the markings out of them. And now we're working on the other side, and you guys basically know the drill by now. So yeah, just enjoy it and watch.
Oh my gosh, you guys, so it's finally done. This took a long time, but it looks so good. I'm so happy about it. Wow, this looks great. Okay, so we're outside of the barn. This is technically where the tack room is, and we're gonna start this.
Yeah, so we got this harsh 90 that'll go right into, maybe it'll actually go right there, that'd be cool. We'll see though. So I'm gonna pull this through.
Raining pretty hard.
Right on there.
Aw, it's just...
Yeah, so maybe we'll cut that down just a little bit so it goes there. Alright, so we got it, we lowered it down, we got it where we want it, so now I'm gonna take a Sharpie and just go inside and make my center mark, and then I'll drill my hole, and this should go right inside.
Fabulous.
And we'll be in good shape.
So he's just leveling it and making his mark so that he can drill the hole.
This is the drill bit, it's a step drill bit, so it starts small and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's cool. Ooh, like butter. All right, you guys, so this is the little pipe that has to fit in there, so it's perfect. Yay! One step closer to electricity. We are tackling the tack room. See what I did there? So this is our feed storage bin area.
So I'm just trimming out the little box here just to add detail, just for aesthetics, and then we add like the back piece of this so that the supplements don't fall behind it, obviously.
But Mike's been running all the wire because we have to run all the wires out of the tack room, and we obviously aren't hooking up anything yet. This isn't even technically live wire yet, it's just everything getting out of the tack room so that this can go all behind the drywall that we put up. So he had to do that first, and he still needs to clean up all this before, and then he'll have to label the breakers so that we know where everything is. And then we'll be able to do the drywall.
Ah, you guys, he's cutting into the barn, but it's for a good reason. So he's just cutting this out so that we can have all of our switches.
All right, you guys, so we have our hole for the box. It's gonna hold all the switches for the lights and the fans in the barn. So that's really exciting, but it was very nerve-wracking for Mike to put a hole into our tack room, let alone, you know, like our barn. So it's time now, and we're gonna fish the wires through. Woohoo! So this is for the fans.
And now he is just running those wires through, and we are re-taping them just so that we don't get them confused.
All right, you guys, look how cool this looks. It just looks really official, so it's really exciting looking. But everything's gonna go up there. We're starting to organize it a little bit better now.
And the AC unit frame is getting started. So just really simple, we just used 2x4s. And this was a bunch of back and forth of Mike walking in and walking back out to try to figure out, because he's actually screwing it in from the back side. So we contemplate a lot and try to get this perfect so that the AC unit fits perfectly within our frame.
Now we just have to cut the metal, and then we have the window unit that can go in.
And more cutting into the barn, and this is so the backside of the AC unit can come outside of the tack room. This is actually in that little storage space that we left by the 2 stalls.
So this is our little frame. Hi, Mike. You almost fell off your bucket. So it looks pretty cool. It's like a perfect little window that Mike's through there. It's like a drive-through. Come back up. All right, so he's just kind of grinding the rest of it just to make it nice and smooth on the other side. And then the window unit goes in, guys. It looks so good.
We are at Home Depot, and we just got all the stuff for the tack room. We're using a blown-in insulation. We got some studs for when we hang our tack on the walls and stuff like that. All of our supplies and all of the drywall. And this was a pretty crazy trip here. It's raining, so we're gonna have to use a tarp because the drywall does not need to be getting wet right now. Everything's in, all the drywall is nice and covered with the tarp, and then all of our other stuff on top. So we're all set.
So we've been back with all of our supplies, and we just cut out these 2x4s for studs. So this is where we'll hang our saddle racks and stuff. So we wanna make sure it's super strong. One there for a possible shelf, and head stalls I think are gonna go right here, so we don't really need studs there. We'll just use anchors into the drywall. And then I've been working on this a little bit, I just added the trim to this side because I got more trim at the store. But we're gonna go ahead and bolt these in and then start the drywall. Guys, the first piece is on. Oh my gosh, so exciting. It's so exciting. I can't believe we're at this point. I'm so excited, but we need to continue on. Alrighty, so we just continue with the drywall, and these first 3 pieces were pretty easy. Oh, I should say 2, because then we had to start cutting it and getting it to fit, and it was just kind of getting a little bit harder because then we had to start doing cutouts for our outlets, so then that started to take a while. But not too bad, but I will say doing drywall is definitely not our favorite thing when it comes to building this barn. The woodwork is so much more of our wheelhouse. We don't often do drywalling as much as we do woodworking, so this was definitely a learning process. As you guys can see, we haven't put the insulation in yet because, like I said, we did get a blown in insulation, so we're gonna put up the drywall, and at this point then in the next vlog we will blow in the insulation through the top of it and figure out the rest as we go. So like I said, this is not our wheelhouse, but we have done it before, so we're just making it work. But I will say, doing the drywall, it's definitely looking more like a room, obviously, but for some weird reason, it's making the room look bigger than what it did without the drywall, so that was really cool. But I'm so excited to still texture the walls and paint it. Now we are just doing the back wall, and this is where we have to cut out for the breaker box. So this one again was more time consuming because we had to cut around that whole box, and the knife that we had was a drywall knife, but it just wasn't very sharp, and it just was taking a long time to actually cut the holes out, but we got it figured out. AC unit is going in, and I am so happy. It's super heavy, but it was like a perfect fit, so our framing worked out really well, and we cut the drywall hole really nicely, so I was so happy about this. This was just like the icing on the cake for tonight. We're just going and putting the last bits of the drywall on, basically all on this side of the tack room, just the lower parts. So Mike's just screwing this piece on, and now we're going to the next piece, and so on. Second to last piece of the drywall is going up. During this whole drywalling process, I do get really bored because it's just not as fun to me. So I really wanted to attach my lids because I got these hinges. So we're just attaching them, and they actually worked really nicely. It was like a perfect fit, and now I'm just trimming out the lids. You guys, look how cute this is. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with it. It's literally turned out better than I thought it was because we just, again, like won this project. So we are just starting by building the frame. We keep calling it a cage because that's what it looks like, but it's just a frame because the metal beams, they kind of like go past our drywall, like the sidewalls. So we had to make this frame so that we could put the drywall on it and it would be flush with the walls that we already have. So the first part of the little cage frame is done. We still have the rest to do, but I got a little helper. Anna, what's he doing? He didn't want to be inside anymore. Oh, let's rub those armpits. Oh, yay. Same process that we have just been doing. I go out and cut Mike some more boards, and then I bring him in and he screws them up onto the frame. Second row is done. Now Mike's just screwing in the third row, and then it'll be drywall time for the ceiling. This is gonna look so cool. I'm so excited. Guys, we kind of underestimated the tack room project, and it's taken us a lot longer. That's why that's pretty much all that's in this vlog, is because this is a big project. Drywall is not like our specialty like woodworking is, so we're a little bit quicker at stuff like that. So this has just been like a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm figuring out how we were gonna do the ceiling, but we've got it figured out. But hopefully we can wrap this project up because I'm ready to do more stall stuff. And the final row that we have to do for the frame, I was getting so antsy because there really wasn't anything for me to do to help. So I was so happy when we were almost done with this. The first piece of drywall is trying to go up, but I left this part in because you can see we ultimately fail at this and it just isn't working at all. Then we got our thoughts together and figured it out, and our wedge system worked perfectly.
Little sketchy there for a minute because then the wedge fell like you guys just saw, and I had to readjust the camera and back in business. And now my job was to make sure that wedge did not fall again while Mike screwed in all the screws into the drywall. So now moving on to the second piece, we were much more confident about this after our first piece trial and error. And we basically started to get our system working here, and the second piece was actually much simpler to do. So I was grateful for that. And then this third piece we just had to cut, and again, same system. Super simple at this point. We knew where our places were supposed to be and who holds the wedge the whole time as Mike screwed all the screws in. Or we just kind of filled in these gaps right here and been filling in those gaps. We still have a bunch to do. We insulated it, whatever. And then we got a bunch of rock delivered. This is gonna go at the base of our stalls, under the stall mattresses. So we just kind of put this out front here too because it's been such a super muddy mess. We're gonna go ahead and get working on those stall doors today. We bought all the hinges. So we have these cool black, like fancy looking hinges. Mike is just measuring. And then we will be going into the garage because we're actually gonna be welding the doors. We're gonna be using our metal U-channels. All right, so we're in the garage and this is where we're gonna be welding everything. Well, Mike is gonna be welding it. So basically we're just taking our big clamps and squishing it together so that we have really nice corners right there. And then we're using this piece of wood for reference because that's how long it has to be. That still needs to be squished in a little bit, and then he'll weld them. All right, so first couple welds are done and it's looking really cool so far. So now basically this is gonna be the same setup that we have to just keep doing. He just took the clamps off and then now he's gonna flip it over so that he can weld the other side and weld the corners. Yay, does it feel sturdy? Cool. So this is the making of the stall door. So it's welded. And now we just need to fill it up with boards, so we gotta go back to the barn and see how it looks. All right, you guys, moment of truth. So this one fits really nicely. It's not too tight. I mean, it could be a little bit looser, but we still have a gap there for hinge and still have a nice gap here for the door to open. So this one actually is gonna work really well. So we just brought all the metal channels back here because, what are you doing back there? Because we have to actually put the channels on like the sides that we plan to now so that we can get more accurate measurements, and that's just gonna look really nice. So I think we're gonna do that now. All right, you guys, so the first section is done. It looks so good, so sleek and clean, and matches perfectly with like the metal accents. But I think this looks really nice and it's gonna match the doors perfect, and we just have to keep continuing on. All right, you guys, so we have this done and it looks so good. It really just ties everything in. It's just like a nice aesthetic detail, and also it helps for the chewing.
All right, the clamps are off, so now we're just using this 2x4. Basically, we're doing this small, technically 1.5 inch base, and this will be for mats and stuff like that, so nothing gets caught up underneath it. So now as you can see, it's perfectly level with our sides because we just cut this bottom board the same exact gap size, so then our lines matched up, so all the lines match up and it's just all super symmetric. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have a door! Like a fully functioning door with the hinges, and check this out. And it is such a sturdy door. Like, I'm so happy about this door. It's not flimsy at all. My brother-in-law has been helping today, and then also my dad came over and helped today to help spackle the tack room. And Mike and my brother-in-law were getting the rest of the drywall up when my dad was spackling it. So we have all of this drywall done. Just this little piece up here at the top needs to be put on. But the spackling, oh my gosh, this was such a big help because I was kind of dreading this part, but I will do it tonight. All right, y'all, before I show you the final finished product of the tack room, I just wanted to show you this time lapse of us painting the tack room. This is after we completely like mudded all the walls together, and Mike's just painting the ceiling and I'm obviously painting the walls. It's super satisfying to see the drywall walls actually start to look like real walls because the paint's going on. We just chose white. This is one of the colors that I have in my house. This is just what I had in my garage, so this is what I used. Now I'm just painting the floor with like this epoxy, like gritty, I don't know what it is. You'll see the finished product a little later on in the video. Guys, so our stall mattresses have arrived. They're on this truck. So Mike has to go down and pick them up with the forks. I am so excited. We have been waiting for these for like a couple weeks now because they had to come on the freight. So I'm so excited. So Mike is just bringing up the last load of the mattresses. So this was a lot. This is all like the layers of our bedding that we're doing technically. We have all the doors on all the stalls, you guys. There's 5 doors. So we're gonna have 5 working stalls. And Mike's truck is literally loaded down. We got so much concrete from Home Depot today. We have a full pallet and then some extras. We got like 53 bags of concrete. So this is gonna be a major project that we have to do so that we can concrete this area. So this is all gonna get concreted. And then as you guys can see, these spaces right here, so this space and then this space right here, that's all gonna have concrete all the way up to the wooden boards so that there's no way that the horse's legs can get caught up underneath there. So we have to do that. And now, moment of truth into our tack room. Here it is, here it is. Look at it, you guys, it's like a full room. So it's drywalled, spackled, and painted. Can you believe it? We added the door trim. So the first saddle rack is going up. We're trying to make them as level as possible. And I'm so excited about these saddle racks because they have a separate bar for the saddle pad and then the actual saddle goes on top. But I just thought these were really cool. So we're just putting 4 up, and I was so happy that we put the bottom 2 pretty low to the ground because I'm pretty short, so I don't have to grab the saddle up high. All right, so we have the forms laid in this first stall, and then also on the other side because we needed it to do the middles. So this second stall, and then just to back here. We've got the concrete and the water in, and now we got this cool tool for the drill that we're gonna just mix it. It's been many hours, and this has been a project. This is definitely not our wheelhouse either that much, but we're figuring things out. So there it is. It works the way that we wanted it to, I think. Pretty much. So this is pretty much what it's looking like. It's pretty much done exactly what we wanted it to do. So that's awesome. We just have that little bit right there to peel off. That one's just screwed in. And now we're gonna go over to this stall and do the same thing. So now we're gonna take off this side. It looks so cool.
Tell us for your concrete needs.
Yeah, right? Guys, concrete is not our thing really, but pretty proud that we were able to figure this out. So now we get to do this. So really quickly before we put the concrete over here, we are gonna put the pipes in because we are actually doing a drain for our AC. As you can see, this is our little makeshift drain. We just have our old screw buckets, but we are gonna go ahead and put the drain through the dirt and out the barn, and then it'll be concreted over. So this is what it's basically gonna look like, and it'll be covered in concrete. Obviously this will be nice and firm in there, and then it'll go up to the AC unit and we'll have proper drainage. So now that the drain is in place, it's time to concrete this little storage area. Alright y'all, so it is almost 12 a.m. It's 11:45 and the concrete is finally done. It looks really good. We're not professionals, but I'm really happy with it. And for some reason, it's made this little storage area look a lot larger than it did with just the dirt. So I'm super excited for this little area so that we have a place to store all of our livestock stuff. We have successfully concreted everything that needs to be concreted in here so that the gravel and things don't fall out and water can't get in underneath the stall mattresses or anything like that.
So we are just starting off. We have to make sure that the floor is really good for the stall mattresses to go on. So we have to add some gravel. So first we need to create this chalk line because we need to make sure that the gravel goes even across the whole stall flooring.
All right, so as you guys saw, we did our chalk line, and our chalk line basically is 2.5 inches from the, let's call it the base, which this will be the base of the stall, because the stall mattresses are about 2.5 inches thick, so that's why we had to leave enough gravel. So we're gonna put gravel all the way up to the chalk line. So that's what we're gonna do now and fill the whole stall, and that's gonna be basically the base of the mattresses. Okay, so first step of the layers are down. So this is the mattress system. And now we're going to do the second layer. And basically the second layer is this. But what we actually do is we cut them open and use the loose crumble that's inside of it as the second layer system. All right, so we're just flipping it over, getting the crumble out. All right, so we have the second layer officially on and it looks so cool. And now we have the final layer, which is gonna be the top cover, but everything is filled in. All of the, let's call them cracks, I guess, and all against the walls are all filled.
So comfortable to walk on.
Good. I know it is. It's very squishy. Now it's time to unravel. This is a very big mat. So this is what the mattress looks like right now, or the top cover I should say. So now it's obviously taller up the sides, and we'll put the strips on and then we'll just cut the excess off. So now we're just gonna go ahead and screw all the screws into the wall of the stall. Now that all the strips are on, we just need to go ahead and basically we have to cut off all the excess right above the strip. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is the first one without the excess on it, and it looks so good. So the final step to make this stall completed with its stall mattress system is using black silicone just to make it super water resistant. We're gonna do this all around the top of the strips where we just cut all the excess off. All right, so I'm just going to run the silicone across the top edge of the strip all the way to the other side. All right, so then I'm gonna take my wet finger, and this is a tutorial on how to spread silicone. And then I'm just gonna wipe it down. This is it. Oh my gosh, I am so happy with it, you guys. Guys, it looks amazing. Like, it's so nice, and it's like walking on a cloud, and it just looks so good. It's perfect for the stalls. This is what we needed. Laid out in all the remaining stalls. So here we just finished this one, and then going on the opposing side we have this one and then this one over here. So all the flooring is done, and then the extra mats we have laying in here that we will cut open and use the loose crumble. So we just have to do that with all of them, and then the flooring will almost be done. in all the stalls. Oh my gosh, I am so happy. So every single stall, literally. Number 4, and finally, number 5. I cannot believe it. This took us literally all day. We started at literally 11 a.m. and finished at 10 p.m. So it's done though. So these gates are galvanized, so they just look like, let's just call them silver. But we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna paint them, and we're painting them white so it matches the barn. And I mean Mike, because I suck at spray painting and I want these to look really nice, so he's gonna go ahead and do it for us. All right, so the first gate is officially completely painted white, and now we are going to hang the gate because we are so excited. So Mike pre-drilled just a couple of holes, one right here and then one down there where you can see that screw is. And then basically this is where the track for the big door is. So that's why I said that we will still be able to put down the big door, because this is the track and we're screwing it to right here. We officially have 2 hinges and it looks so nice. It looks like these are here on purpose. Obviously they are, but I mean, like, it looks like that they were supposed to be there and that the building came with them. So I'm super excited. It looks really good. This is what it looks like with a gate. It looks like a horse barn because you can see the stables right through it. So cool. So I just cut these 2 pieces of wood and lightly stained them. I still need to stain them again, but what I'm actually making is just something for the aesthetic of the tack room. And it's literally just a frame around the AC unit that we have, but I'm staining it the same stain as the feeder box. And I just wanted it all to kind of just look cohesive and just gave it just a little nice touch. So Mike is going ahead and putting our first piece of our frame up. I'm super excited to see how this looks. Again, like I said, it's purely just for the aesthetic. All right, so the top and bottom are on, and I just finished cutting and staining the 2 sides. So I'm so excited to see how this is gonna look. You guys, I don't know why, but I'm like so obsessed with this. It looks so like finished. I don't know why. It's just so exciting to me. Now it's time to mark 4 inches on center for all of the pipes. We officially have all of the holes drilled in the metal, in the wood, all the way down to the very end. So Mike is up there and he's measuring the dots for the top, and this should be fun because we need to drill the same holes that we drilled right here. We need to drill them up here. All right, so all of the holes are drilled, even on top. So I'm super excited now. It is officially time to start putting the bars in and seeing the vision come to life. So this is the reveal of what it's going to look. I'm so happy to finally see this. The vision like is exactly there. So obviously you guys see some of them are white, but this is what they look like and this is what they're gonna look like. and I think it looks so good. It's exactly what I envisioned. Now obviously the white ones are just not painted, so what we're doing now, instead of pre-painting them, we're just gonna paint them while they're up there. You guys are about to see in just a second. Mike is just painting them. This is the strategy that we're using right now. He's just painting basically just the tops and the bottoms, enough that we'll just get it into the actual holes, and then we'll paint the rest of it when they're actually set up in place. So they're all in, and as you can see, all of those right there, the middles are white. So now we're gonna go ahead and spray the rest. All right, you guys, it is complete. It is so awesome. I can't believe it turned out like this. Definitely turned out better than what I expected. It looks exactly like those metal bars that you guys see. Like, look at it. Whoa, it's so cool. And then from this side, oh my gosh, so this is what my horses will see. Oh my gosh, can you guys believe we did this? Like, this looks like something that you purchased as a kid. Gonna go to the store and get some more stuff, and then it's time to fill the stalls. So what I'm gonna do for my salt block holders, I'm actually gonna put it so they're like kind of like opposing each other, if that makes sense, like the horses. So this will go here. Here goes. Yay! And voila, it's in. Guys, I don't know why, but this is so cool to me because these are the fine details that are coming to a close here. So basically, this just goes into here. So I am gonna keep the salt brick still covered in the wrapper because we are still working in here. So there it is. For now, I'm thinking that we're just gonna go flush up here underneath the metal. There is a little lip that the flat back bucket will sit on. And then whenever we want to take the bucket out, you just pull the pin up and then you can actually get the bucket out. But these are strong and they kind of just match the other metal, and they'll sit like this. And this is what we're going to feed in. So that's why this one's going to go on the front. And then we're actually running plumbing all throughout the barn. So then the water will be like right here for now. All right, so the second piece into the stall. So that's the concept. So the bracket is on, and then as you guys can see, that's the lip I was talking about. So I would just put the bucket on the lip, and these will stay in here. They'll just come out whenever we need to like clean the buckets or something like that. And now it's time to put the water bucket bracket in. So this is where we're gonna put it, and we're actually kind of like leaning it up against the wall here just so that there's not much like movement with the bucket so they don't knock it all around. So this is where we're gonna put that, and then kind of right here at this height. And now we're just gonna put the water bucket up. Same exact ordeal. Boom. Love it. And now it's time to hang our halter hooks. So these are just gonna go right here by the door, and they're gonna hang here. So we have all of our halter hooks up on all 5 stalls. Obviously the halters aren't on them except for the first one. We're going to hang the cross ties from this pole to over here. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, you guys, the cross ties are done. So we have the hook over here and then the hook over there. So we just have them hooked back up on this ring, but basically this is the idea. So if I was a horse, the 2 hooks would attach to the halter, and this is exactly how they go. We can still adjust this to make it looser or tighter, but we officially have cross ties. So if you guys can imagine, this is what it would look like with everything in the background and the cross ties. So I'm so excited for these. My farrier is gonna be very happy. The 2 girth racks are up, so we're gonna call them girth racks because that's what they're technically called on the site. But now it's time to just put the girths and everything that I have on here really quickly. Alright y'all, so the girth racks are up. So they started running the plumbing, and if you see right there, that is coming out of the ground. It's going to connect over here to our well pump. And then this goes underground, as you can see where all the rock is. And then it's going all the way underground, and then we just put rock over it all. And then right here, it comes back up and will go into the barn, into that tiny little cut hole. And then we will have plumbing running into the barn. So he's just cutting this off, and then that's gonna fit right into the barn.
Just widen it just a hair.
There we go.
Looks good to me.
All right, you guys, so there it is. This is the start of all the plumbing into the barn, and this will route into the barn, into every stall, so that there's a nozzle into every stall to turn water on. So now we're back into the barn, and this is what it looks like on this side, and he's basically doing the same thing, adding a 90 but going upward. And there it is, and then we'll just silicone where you guys see the light coming in so that we don't have any moisture coming in through there, and then the pipe will just go all the way up and into the stalls. Now Mike's adding this little nozzle, which will be our shut off, and this will shut all the water off in the barn off of just one switch, just in case anything goes awry.
No water? Water.
Perfect.
This is our supply line coming in. So if anything breaks over there, kill that, no water.
Fabulous. So here's the shut off, and then comes all the way up there, 90s, and then it's gonna go all the way across. It's focusing on the bars, but back into there, and then it'll come down here where our water bucket is. Okay, so there we had the 90, it goes all the way across. And then T's here goes down behind the wood, and then there is the spigot, and then there's where we're putting the water bucket. And why it's right there is because we want the plumbing as far away from the horses technically, so they don't have anything to mess with. That's why we have it going behind the wall, and then we really don't want them to be able to mess with this nozzle. So then we'll attach a little hose type thing that will just go directly into the bucket. And then now, as you can see, it's all ran across. We're just going to continue to do that. They've got the pipe starting there. It'll go all the way across to fill all the stalls, and then up and then into these two stalls, and also for our wash rack over there. But it looks really clean. Finally, all of the plumbing is done, and we have water through it all out the barn. So as you guys can see, I'm going to show you kind of where it all goes. Goes across there. So it goes all the way across there, back there. So we'll get a little closer look. Back here, up across here. It goes up there, and then you guys can't see, but it goes above the garage door. Back, flows over here onto this side, and then all the way back here for these stalls. Across here, and then to our last down here. So we have this fan up, and then if you guys can see right there, and then that fan is up. The only fan we're missing is the one all the way at the end. We still have to do some plumbing over there, so we're just leaving that one not up just yet. All right, you guys, so as you guys have seen for so long, we've been able to use our top lights, but they were ran off extension cords. So now all the electric is getting hooked up, so it's running back there So as you can see, it's just getting ran all the way across. So it's going over here. We've got a bunch of outlet boxes happening right above the fans. So as you can see, there's the outlet box right up there, and this is where the fan will plug into, and then it's getting ran over there, and then there's also an outlet box over there for that fan. So in the tack room, and we finally have an outlet, so the electricity is going to be working in here very soon. Then we have this over here, and this is a dimmer. This is going to be for our lights. They're not in yet, but they will be. And then we have another outlet right there. So I'm super excited. Nothing's live yet, but it will be. Hi, kitty. And these are the switches for our barn. Obviously, nothing's connected just yet, but it's about to be. But this is going to be the main one for the light. And then we have two more, and these are going to be for the fans. So this would be like the left side of the barn fans, and then the right side of the barn fans. So as you can see, it's pitch black out. We only have this light right here because this one's connected to an outlet. These lights up here are not connected right now, but what this means is that the electric actually works. So the electricity works. So all of our fans, if you guys can hear the noise, they are rumbling, they are working, and this is all electricity. So I've been cleaning out the stalls with my new little blower, and then I've also been running the magnet in them. And I want to show y'all the magnet and just look how much metal we have picked up from the alleyway and the stalls. So the magnet's working. We're clearing all the stalls out and making sure that they're safe for the horses. So we just need to first start and really clean out the barn, because this is going to be like our pretty much official like cleaning out of the barn, because there's really not any huge projects that we have to do for now. So we just need to clean it out, and this will be like our big clean out, because then we'll have to put the mats down and everything like that. And this is going to be like our clean out to be able to put the horses in. So we have to clean it all out, get it all ready. So the barn is completely cleared of things. Obviously, I just have my broom, my magnet, and my blower, and that's because that's what's next. So now I'm going to run the magnet over everything before I go ahead and sweep or broom, just because I don't want it to blow anything into the stalls or anything like that. Mike is brooming up the hay over there. Hay's just been a big mess right now. So I'm just gonna magnet everything. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have successfully magneted. Is that even the right word? Oh my gosh, you guys. Here it is in all its glory. The alleyway is huge. Like, I don't remember it looking this big. Obviously, there's nothing in here right now. Easy, it's time to put the mats in. You guys, we have all the mats in. We have one more mat because we actually bought these mats used. They're in really good condition. They've just been sitting up front like you guys saw. So we have one more mat, which is an odd number. So Mike's just putting the last one in, and for now, we're just gonna turn it, but I am gonna get one more mat so that it just comes out straight like this, but for now, we're just gonna do this until I go get another mat. So Mike is just cutting the wood to make the door, and if you guys follow this extension cord, we're actually using electricity from the barn. So cool, and he's building it outside of the barn so that we don't have a mess in the barn. All right, so we've made the bottom of the frame and have one of the boards in. We're gonna see if it fits before we go and add the rest of the wood. That looks nice. So, looks like a pretty good fit. Y'all, we have a door. So there it is. It's a door, it's a working door. I just need to get a latch like the stall doors, but as you can see,
it works. But now it's time to tackle the gate. If you guys remember, we painted these gates white and we hung the one up front, which is wide open. It's right there. But we never ended up hanging this one, so now it's time to hang this gate. Once we get this gate up, then we are gonna start, like we've taken off some of them already off of these doors, but not this one, of course, that I'm about to show. So this is what we have to take off, all these little tiny screw endings and stuff like that. So anything that can be a hazard, they can scrape their nose on this or, you know, any parts of their body. Scanning everything. So this is what it looks like when they're cut off. No sharp points or anything. It looks just so much better. So that's one stall completely pointy free. So now we just need to continue on and do the rest of the stalls and they will be safe for the horses. So it's time to revisit right here, this little piece of PVC coming out of the concrete in our little storage area. All right, so this is the contraption he's come up with. So it comes out of the ground like this, and then he uses these little 45s so it gets right next to the barn all the way up, and then just turns at like an angle just to get closer to underneath here. And then it can't lie flat because the gravity needs to be able to pull it down. If it went flat, it'd have to go like this, but this ends up right here with this little 90. And then the water will spill right into there, go down, and we have proper drainage of our AC unit. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna work on cutting this hose and getting this attached to all the water spigots and then getting the buckets put up while Mike continues the bars because the bars are a pretty big project. This is the little nozzle where the water will come out. And then first, before putting the hose on, I have to just put this little adapter nice and tight, voila, and then now we'll put the hose on. I've done a couple others already, but this is what we basically are doing. We're taking the garden hose, and it's a tight fit. We're gonna put it on here. Oh, okay, so once it's on, now I basically want the hose to just like sit in here, and then I'll show you how we're gonna make it sit up. So I'm just gonna put it like right here, and then this is where I'm gonna cut it. Okay, so it's cut, and then basically it'll sit right in here just like this. And then if we see the hose right here, ready? So I'll turn on the water slightly because it's not fully attached. I still need to put my thing on, but if you guys can see the water, and it's gonna come out of the hose just like that. And then okay, so now we just have to put this little clamp on it. And then I'm just gonna put this back on here, and then we'll just tighten the clamps, and then I just need to do this on the rest of the stall. All right, so while I've been doing miscellaneous things, like those little hoses, which I just finished, so you can see right there. I've got one here, I've got one on this stall, and then I have them on this stall and this stall. But as you can see, these stalls still don't have the bars yet, but Mike is working on them, but he finished this one. So it looks really cool. We just need to spray paint the bars black. So this is what we're using, and if you guys can read that, it says 15-minute fast dry. So in essence, we will be done in 15 minutes. I cannot believe it, you guys. And then we will have the horses coming in right after. All right, you guys, here it is. It is finished to completion of where the horses can come in.
All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. All right, you guys, we love you, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, we love you, and we'll see you in the next one. You guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next barn update. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. You guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. So make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you guys liked this video and the whole series. So don't forget, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Make sure you turn on those post notifications because you aren't gonna wanna miss the next video and the videos coming up in our brand new barn. All right, you guys, I love you, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.